Valorant is heavily reliant on aim, and today I'm going to help you take your aim to the next level in just 3 minutes with these easy tips. We don't have a lot of time, so let's get right to it. I'm Hootie with Level Up Gaming, and let's take your aim to the next level. First up is your mouse sensitivity. I highly recommend you set your DPI to 400 or 800 because that's where most mouse sensors are going to be the most accurate. And then head on over to the practice range and start practicing flicking on some bots on easy mode and work your way up to medium and hard as you get more comfortable. Make sure you're always returning your crosshair to center before flicking to the next bot, and pay attention as you're flicking between the bots and adjust your sensitivity up or down depending on whether or not you're flicking a little too far or not far enough. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more muscle memory you can develop, the better. Don't forget to adjust that scope sensitivity if you're trying to get to that 1-to-1 hip fire to scoped ADS sensitivity ratio. I feel that somewhere between 2.5 and 3 scoped sense is pretty close if you're trying at 1 sensitivity and 400 DPI. Obviously, you're gonna have to play around with this and see what works for you based on your settings. Speaking of crosshair, your crosshair can also play a huge role in your aim. Make sure your crosshair is easy to see but not so obstructive that it's blocking your view in any way. The crosshairs are super customizable in this game, so make sure you play around with it a little bit and find what you're comfortable with. You can even use the second crosshair line to set up a spot where you can judge how far you need to pull down with during your spray. Again, make sure you practice with some bots with your new crosshair before you jump into a game with it. Next, let's talk crosshair placement. Make sure as you're walking around and peeking angles, you're keeping your crosshair on the edge of that angle so that you're clearing as you peek. It's also super important to keep your crosshair around head height so that you can hit those easy headshots once you see an enemy. Pre-aiming and peeking is also super effective if you know the angles you're trying to pre-aim and peek, but be careful because you probably don't want to wide peek something unless of course it's an operator that you know you're wide peeking against. Make sure you're peeking and pre-aiming in small increments so that you're not over peeking and exposing yourself to angles that you haven't already cleared. Recoil control is also incredibly important, and at close range it's pretty easy to control. You might just want to jump into the practice mode on some bots while at close range and just work on your 3 or 4 bot spray downs. At long range, you'll probably want to practice controlling your recoil in short bursts or tapping. The best way to practice your bursts and tapping is to set up the practice range bots on easy mode and slowly work your way up to hard mode. And you can even customize them to strafe around or just stand still without despawning and respawning before you kill them. It turns out that crouching and shift walking still allows you to be incredibly accurate in Valorant whether we like it or not. There's also a lot of talk about counter strafing in Valorant, and while you can do it and be quite effective, you should note that you don't need to counter strafe to quickly come to a stop and be 100% accurate in Valorant. If you stop holding your WAS and D keys, you stop extremely fast, way faster than CSGO, and are 100% accurate. And don't forget to line up your crosshairs and hit that subscribe button with a 1 tap so you don't miss out on future Valorant content.